This is Steve Schiffman. I want to thank you very much for joining me today in this particular podcast that we put out for you to help you become more effective as a salesperson or as a manager. I'm going to talk to you about something that I think is interesting. I think it's interesting. Now, you may not. You may say at the end of the day, Steve, that was kind of, but I think it's kind of interesting. It's a pencil. It's a pencil. Why would I take a pencil? Well, think about the pencil and the different things you could do with a pencil. Oh, there are a lot of things. And if you're a kid, jabbing your hand with a pencil hurt, because every kid did at least once in their lives. Or they hit something, I don't know what they did. But the reason that I'm talking about that is I want to illustrate to you product malleability. That is the ability to take the simple pencil, which is really pretty simple, but actually very complex. Think about how they do it with the wood and the thing and the little eraser at the end, how they get that done. But how they manufacture something that looks so simple, but is really so complicated. It allows you to write. First of all, that's the number one thing. A pencil allows you to write. It allows you to communicate with other people. It allows you to communicate and remember things for you, where you put on the list things that you remember you've got to do. So a pencil does that. A pencil allows you to communicate and allows you to remember. A pencil allows you the ability to stick something with it. Well, that's number three. You could. I mean, you're in a fight and you're going to go, you want to do it. Well, a pencil does it better than a knife sometimes. A pencil can be really sharp, so sharp that you get a very thin line. But on the other hand, it can be very blunt, and therefore you get a thicker line. There are carpenter pencils that are thick, and there are very specific very specific pencils that architects use that are just that little line. So there's many different ways that a pencil can be used. The question for you is, do you know those ways? If you were selling a pencil, could you list 15, 20 ways that you could use this pencil? Or do you just use what everybody says it's used for writing? Or do you actually go in and say, here's another way to do it? For example, I have on my desk different types of pencils. I have, an not electric pencil, but a mechanical pencil. You press here and it works and it comes out. I have replacements for the carbon. You want to say that to yourself. You want to say, do you have those things? Or are you simply doing it the same way? And more importantly, have you kept up to date with the pencil? Now, I'm not saying the pencil has changed a lot. I don't know. Maybe it has. I got to believe it has. But let me go back a number of years ago, I trained a company in California how to sell fax machines. Fax machines had just come out. And the theory was that a fax machine just could not be hooked up to any telephone line, hard line. It had to be hooked up directly to a special fax line. And I taught people how to sell that. My company had contracts with different telecom companies on how to teach people how to tell them or how to sell to them the specific fax line. Now, whether they needed it or not, I don't know. I only knew that that's what they said. I believe it. I believe that at that point they did. They were brand new. A fax in those days could be $5,000, and you leased it. You didn't just go into a store and buy one for $39, $50, or $60. You didn't do that. You actually leased it, and you then set it up, and you have fax rooms. It's interesting. The computer today, which we don't have to tell you this, is more powerful than computers 40 years ago. I mean, it really is interesting. Your phone does more than the computer did to launch people into space. But the question that I'm really raising is, are you up to date with what your pencil does? Are you up to date with how to use the pencil? Are you up to date with the latest technology that you're using or selling? Or are you selling it the same way you always did? You need to think about that. And you need to say to yourself, maybe I've got to stop and think through the way I'm making a sale. I see people all the time that sell the same way. They sell it the same way as if it's the same product when it isn't. It isn't. Now, I'm not saying to you every day, say this is new, but I am saying to you, I bet you anything. that there are innovations within your product influence, product sphere, that you're not saying, that you're not bringing up, that you're not mentioning, that you're not telling your existing customers. Let's leave the new customers alone, that your existing customers don't know about. That you're allowing them to believe that this pencil is the same as it always is, and they're buying the same pencil for the same reason they did before. And you don't know why they bought it before. You don't really know how they use it. So take away from today, get to know how your customers use your pencil. Obviously, it's probably not a pencil, but it's something. How do they use it? And are they using the most up-to-date version of that? Have you told them that there's a different version? Have you given them instruction? Have you helped them understand there's another way to accomplish the same goal? After all, they bought the pencil thinking that it would help them accomplish a goal. So this week, just so you know, the key word is scissors. Scissors. You write me a note, say scissors in it. You've got a chance to win one of the books. This week is particularly interesting because I happen to like this book. It is, in fact, The Big Bang, one of my favorite books. So I want to make sure you get that. Also, if you need help, write me a note. What do I do about this? What do I do about this? How do I handle this? Make sure you give me an email. Make sure you give me a telephone number where I can reach you. You know, it's funny, I get telephone numbers, but the people don't answer the phone. So I know what you're doing is giving a cell number that's not right. Give me something so I can reach out. I'll reach out to you. Reach out to you usually within 24 hours. All right. So this is Steve Schiffman with the scissors and with a pencil, thanking you for coming today. And as always, your presence humbles me.